Hey YouTube, welcome to the video, and today we'll be talking about how I took a 1-year sabbatical and walked away from teaching high school, specifically biology, so that I can pursue being a full-time real estate investor and real estate coach. So hopefully you get some value from today's video, and of course, hit that like and subscribe button before we start. So truth be told, it was totally not what I expected. I thought the transition between being a full-time employee towards becoming a full-time entrepreneur was gonna be fairly easy. Like I'd already looked at, different methods of time management and kind of preparing my day and also my funds and resources and team so that when I transition from just working a regular 9-to-5 job, teaching high school to being a full-time entrepreneur, I thought that'd be a pretty smooth process, but boy was I wrong. And something that I learned is that it's very different, especially because before I had a very structured day, right? Go to class, had period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, days basically set up, and it's the same similar day that really alternates every 2 days. We're on a 2-day cycle back when I was teaching high school. Now that I'm a full-time entrepreneur, I have to set up my own hours every single week and also work on giving work to the rest of my team for that week. So it's moving around their scheduling, moving around what they have going on in their life, and also making sure that I can allocate that time to doing certain projects that are still gonna move the business forward and make sure that my tasks later on in the week don't fall behind. So there's a little bit of struggle. It's different when it comes to that time management, but it's something that I'm continually learning. And I've even, of course, hired coaches, because why would I waste time and slow down the process of becoming full-time entrepreneur, being comfortable with the chaos that is part of the game, when I can just hire someone such as Craig Ballantyne to help me out with this, or even people on his team like Gavin McHale. When it comes to my schedule from Sunday all the way till Saturday, I really sit down every Sunday morning and just plan out the whole week. And I need to do this because that gives me clarity so that when I wake up on Monday morning, I know exactly what I need to do. So I'll use different systems. One of them is just a quick general weekly agenda like this. I also have like 30-day and 90-day goal sheets. And then of course, I fully draw out a grid of, it's called the 7x7 grid, and essentially it's the whole week and then broken down into 7 periods where I can plan out in 2-hour blocks. So essentially, Sunday is really that planning day. It's also the Sabbath, so that's where I like to spend time, a little bit more spiritual and I guess religious. I'll spend time with God, basically, whether that means going to church physically or online, or reading some of the Bible, or some philosophy texts. You might be thinking, well, what's the connection of God and philosophy? I think there's a connection there, but that's just my own practice. You can believe whatever you want. Now, Monday is actually my favorite day, because that's when I know I get to work on hustle. So right when Monday morning rolls up, I know exactly what I'm doing. That first 30 minutes to an hour and a half time block, where I'm working on what's called your non-urgent but important work. Again, that's a term by Craig Ballantyne's book, The Perfect Work Week, or The Perfect Week Formula, sorry. And essentially, during that first block, that's my most important task. And it's something that could usually always be pushed forward, and I can essentially procrastinate on that. Like if I don't get that done, my business probably is not gonna suffer, but personally, I probably would. So these are tasks like building systems in the business, right? I could definitely grow the business just working in the business, but it's spending that time working on the business that's gonna allow me to take a step back. Or it could be like major personal projects, such as like writing another book or working on another course. Those things I could keep pushing off and I'll still be okay. We'll probably still grow, but it's really that work that is, again, not urgent. I don't have to do it right away, but it is very important, so I schedule that immediately right when I wake up. Then I'll cut the morning with the first part of my workout. Usually takes about just 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'm going right back into essentially more work. Usually it's about marketing, right? That's where I'll post on social media, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it is. Every single social media gets a post, and that's prepared the night before. Then by the time 10 o'clock rolls around, now we're essentially in what I like to call training mode. That's where I'll have an hour blocked off where I'm sitting down probably with a coach, probably with a course that I'm working through, but there's some form of education there. That's my professional development, right? Whether that's getting better at sales, getting better at marketing, getting better at understanding content creation, getting better at just being a coach in general. But it's something that I need to work on. And again, if it's not planned out, I'm just not gonna make time for it, and then I'm not gonna get better at those skills. By the time 11 rolls around, then I'm answering some emails and getting ready for lunch. I probably take a walk, 10-minute, 15-minute quick walk, clear my head, and then back for lunch. And then by noon, that's when I start taking my afternoon calls. So this goes about 2 ways, and this is where the day kind of differs on a day-to-day basis, depending on how many appointments are booked, right? So if I have booked appointments, whether that's students or guests that want to get their real estate strategy sessions built for them and customize real estate roadmaps that I do completely for free, then I'll jump on those Zoom calls, take care of those guests, take care of my students and my clients. Or if there's no Zoom calls booked, no phone calls booked, then what I'm doing is doing some DM outreach and trying to reach out to more people. Whether that means I'm DMing, 10 people an hour, whether that means I'm contacting my email list or building my email list, or even just picking up the phone and making calls. Okay, that's essentially my whole afternoon from noon all the way till about 3:30. Now, 3:30 hits and I'm essentially doing a brain dump. So by doing a brain dump, I'll essentially take, some paper and I'll just write down everything running through my mind, right? I just let it go all there. And 3:30 just represents the end of a usual workday. And that brain dump is also, after that, I'll do a little bit of meditation or prayer to kind of close off the day. However, on some busy evenings, especially on Tuesdays, that's my coaching call days, then I'll do a brain dump, do a little bit of prayer, meditate, have a little bit of dinner, and then I'm going back to getting ready for my evening coaching calls. So it usually runs around 6:30 to 7:30, and those are my longer evenings. After that, then it's kind of just wind down, relax, do a little bit of reading before bed. Sometimes I'll watch a little bit of Netflix, hang out. And right before bed is, an hour before, I'm trying to, this is something I'm really working on, trying to put the phone away. My goal this week is to put my phone in the bathroom, which is like the room next door, and have the alarm there. So my phone, when it rings and the alarm goes off, I can't hit the snooze button and stay in bed. I have to physically get up, go to the washroom, and once I'm finally there, hey, maybe I'll just take my shower and get ready for the day. So it's something I'm working on, still optimizing that routine in the morning, something I'm just trying out, right? So that's basically how the day usually goes, and that just cycles, Monday to Friday. Friday I like to try to take off sometimes, or I'll take Thursday off. Here's where I'll measure out energy, right? If my energy levels are telling me, okay, this week is going to be a little bit more packed, what I'm looking at on Sunday, then I'm essentially going to maybe book Thursday off and then work Friday and then Saturday. But one of those days I'll usually try to take off. Saturday hits, that's when we're recording this on a Saturday, and I'm actually going to be shooting a live session for my students learning the 5-week Fast Track Challenge to essentially how to be entrepreneurs online and different ways they can make money online. Then again, now we're back on Sunday, which is our rest day. So Saturday is where it differs too. Sometimes like today I'm going out, hanging out with some friends. The evenings is where I book a little bit of that, time with friends, networking, socializing. I think that's very important. And I'm actually coming out with a free course soon on the importance of networking and socializing when it comes to your financial literacy skills. Because it's hard to increase your income, increase your net worth, build businesses and investments if you have trouble saying hi, right? And it's something that I've dealt with for a long time as a child. And now that as I gotten older, got in training on this, gotten better at public speaking, interacting, whether it's online like this or physically with other people, that's something I'm very passionate about, because I know what it's like to have that fear and anxiety, whether it's being on camera, just being in public, right? And last week we just had an event, our Alliance launch, and it was a packed networking event. Thank you so much for everyone that showed up. And it reminded me that there was a time where I would have such a difficult time walking into a room like that. Like, ask me to do that when I was like 17, 18, I would have freaked out. Like, I would have not wanted to be in that room. I would have seen how much people in that room, be like, oh man, like my palms are getting sweaty, this is nervous, I don't want to do this. And instead, like I was there, a little nervous, of course. It was a launch of our company there. I'm excited, and it all worked out, right? It was so much easier to just say hi, talk to people, connect with others, meet different investors or people interested in real estate, and connect other people with people that I think they would get value from. And it just shows that the growth and that this skill can be learned. Like socializing, learning how to network can be learned. Which is exactly what I'm actually teaching to my students online tonight, or this morning. And yeah, so that's kind of the week. Weeks are usually packed. But again, this is why I have systems, right? Like having goal sheets, having a time every Sunday to plan this, and then even like, I have a system here just for marketing. Like every day I know exactly what I'm posting, so I don't have to think about it, right? Systems are really checklists and processes that are put in place so that, hey, you set it up once and you just keep reusing it, and it requires less mental bandwidth. Fiona wanted me to talk about how I balance calls, hanging out with my girlfriend, being able to raise money, close deals, coach students, and, fly around Canada, really, like visit Edmonton pretty often, and also like coach the other coaches on how they can be better at teaching the art and science of educating. So before this, like we were just talking about having systems in a calendar. Like without that calendar and agenda, I would not be able to do any of this. Another big resource literally is Fiona. Like she will organize a ton of work for me. She'll set up times. She'll do things that, would take away my time. So example, we're getting ready for taxes and I had to prepare some documents for my accountant, and Fiona put together what we call it our homes overview sheet. It's basically how much money came in, how much money came out of all the rental properties. And she's working on summarizing all that so we can just hand that in. She's essentially acting as the bookkeeper because, still training the newer bookkeeper with that. But definitely prioritizing everything in the week is key, right? So first thing that always gets planned is gonna be date night, right? Date night's always planned on Sundays. First thing that goes on my agenda. Then it's gonna be time for myself. When are my workouts? When am I meditating? When am I feeding the mind? Mind feeding, reading books, taking courses, training with my coaches. And then finally, it's like work, right? Work actually gets scheduled last because everything else in life, health, relationships, passions, adventures, free time, that gets booked up, and I'll take, your 100 hours the week. What's gonna be left over is maybe like 38 hours. That's gonna be for work. And hey, if I can finish work earlier, awesome. And that's really what I'm trying to work on now. And that's exactly why I hired basically a coach for CEO Mastery. Is because I want more time back, right? The goal here, and this is just for me, right? And this isn't advice for anyone. This is strictly for me. I want a lifestyle business, right? Do I need to make more money? Maybe it helped the parents out a little bit, but at a certain point, I need to find that optimized level where there's more time for me and what I'm trying to do in this life while still making enough money to, maintain that, right? And still move forward, still be able to save to invest and still grow the portfolio, take care of my family essentially. But if I wasn't able to prioritize time and activities and have a clear vision every single week, it'd be very difficult to essentially manage all this, right? Again, agenda is going to help a lot, and then having an assistant. I think that if you're a solo entrepreneur, again, this is just what I would do. I would hire an assistant sooner than later because it's saved me so many hours. So shout out Fiona, you're awesome. I don't know if you're watching the live, but I know you're going to be watching this video when you edit it, so you are awesome. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm going to jump on, coach some students, and hope you guys got some value. Patrick J. Hilaire here, teacher who became a real estate investor and real estate coach. Love to help you out. And again, if you're interested, hit the Calendly link below. That is where you will be able to hop on a call with myself or my team, and we'd love to build you customized real estate roadmaps to help you reach your goals if you're interested. So I'd love to turn you into a professional real estate investor. but it's up to you to take action. So hit that Calendly link below. I want to speak to you this week, or in the future when you're watching this, I want to speak to you on that week. Take care and peace.